We're here with Juho Levänen of Team Associated Reedy LRP. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're from?
I'm from Finland.
Is there much competitive racing over in Finland, or do you pretty much just mop up the competition?
There's actually a lot of competition, even though it's a fairly small country. We have quite a bit of races.
Mainly carpet or asphalt, or how does that work?
Mostly carpet because of the weather. The indoor season is pretty long, like 7-8 months. But also in the summer we run outdoors for a couple months.
So you pretty much run rubber tires year round?
Yeah, mostly rubber tires. Fall skeleton foams on carpet, touring cars, rubber.
Do you practice a lot, or do you mainly just go to big races over in your country?
It depends. Sometimes if I'm preparing for a big race, I practice a lot. Sometimes less. Depends on.
Is it harder to find guys to keep up with you since you are one of the fastest in your country, or do you pretty much have to travel outside of Finland to other European countries to find similar competition?
Well, I mostly race in Europe and in the States, but even in Finland, the competition is okay. It's not a piece of cake to win a race there.
Now, besides racing, do you have a day job, or do you go to school, or?
Well, I actually study mechanical engineering. I'm about to graduate in a few weeks. So far, I don't have a job after I graduate, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe later this year, I'll probably try to get a real job.
Yeah, the economy's tough, so good luck with that for sure. As far as composure, let's talk about composure. I mean, you race a lot of big races. There's times where you have guys like right on your bumper that maybe have a better car. There's times that you are faster and you're on a guy who's you have a lot of respect for. How do you find the patience sometimes to know when to make a pass, when not to make a pass, when you don't want to make a disrespectful move on a driver? I mean, do you just kind of do it on the fly, or do you have like a 2-turn rule, or what do you normally do?
Well, at big races, I normally try to think how the race would go beforehand. Well, obviously, it doesn't always go as you think, but Finnish people are kind of known for having good nerves, like Kimi in Formula 1. He's the Iceman, so I don't know. Depends on the situation.
Now, in the United States, you've seen a little bit of a slowdown in touring car electric racing. In Europe, is it going pretty strong still, or I mean, how's the strength overall?
Yeah, on-road is doing really well still in Europe. Touring car races get filled up. Usually they limit the entries because the races are not as long as here. We only do weekend races, so you can't have that many people. But they still get a good amount of entries. Now,
let's talk a little bit about the TC5. When you race on carpet at big races like the LRP Masters, as opposed to asphalt races like an outdoor nationals or a Reedy race, that type of thing, what type of changes do you make typically to your car to get it to work with rubber tires on carpet as opposed to asphalt?
Well, you don't really need to change a whole lot. I think most people run their cars fairly similar indoor and outdoor. Depends. I mean, if it's really high bite outdoor versus low bite indoor, then obviously you need to make changes. But overall, I think you can pretty much run the same stuff.
Which do you prefer running? I mean, we know in Europe they run a lot of carpet. I mean, do you prefer carpet better than asphalt, or which is your preference?
Well, usually I like carpet because like in Finland, the weather is so bad that you don't really want to be outdoors that much. But like here, the weather is awesome. I mean, outdoors okay too.
Is it true it's dark there? Like like 6 months out of the year? Or?
Well, because it's close to the North Pole.
True.
In the winter, it's dark, but then again, in the summer, the days are really long.
Do you see a lot of outdoor racing during the good weather season? Like, do they have parking lot racing, or is it mainly just organized tracks and events?
Mostly organized tracks. You don't really have any parking lot races.
Now, at big races in the United States, we see tech kind of easing a little bit. In Europe, do you guys still go through like severe tech where they check like every single nook and cranny, or is it pretty much loose as well?
I think it depends on the country and the race. Like the official races, like the European Championships, they're pretty tight about the rules. But some of the races organized like by like LRP or DHI Cup, they're not that tight. Probably about the same as here.
Great. Well, we'd like to thank you for coming today and doing an interview with us. I really appreciate it. Best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For having me.